Hey there, toy collector friends and Transformers fans alike. Welcome back to the channel. I'm the Triple TC, and that's the Time Travelling Toy Collector. And today we are travelling through time to have a look at a Studio Series entry into the Transformers collectible toy range. This time featuring this monster. This is Scourge, the Herald of Unicron, as he appeared in Transformers Rise of the Beasts. He's Studio Series entry 101. And it's some plastic-free packaging back when package-free packaging was a thing that they were engaging with. It's a Takara Tomy Hasbro production. And Scourge is a phenomenal-looking illustrated figure here on the front. On the side, you can see Scourge's head very nicely too. On the back, we have the obligatory product shots. There's Scourge being all roboty, and there is Scourge in his truck mode. And I will say, looking at the robot mode, the fact that that robot mode turns into that truck mode is quite impressive, I will say. And then this side we have a bit more of Scourge being all fighty with his blade on display. So yeah, there's an awful lot going on with this one. He's a leader class figure, and as you can probably tell, a hefty combatant ready to take on Optimus Prime himself. But we are not here to look at the box, we are here to look at the figure. So without further ado, let's get him out and in the fresh air. And here is Scourge out of his packaging, and of course he is a Studio Series figure from the past, and that means he comes with a diorama. Yes, he comes with one of these nice display bases that is no longer the case for Transformers Studio Series figures. They are no longer packaged in with a diorama which they can stand in usually either mode, but Scourge is from a time when that was the case, and it's from one of his battles with the Autobots and some of the humans, trying to capture the MacGuffin of the film, The Rise of the Beasts. Now I have to say, taking him out of the packaging, he's quite the impressive bot. He really is. I was in two minds about getting this Scourge, and Scourge is quite an interesting character. I'm going to pick him up and bring him a bit close to the camera so you can see him. And I don't know if you're getting that there. Let me try and zoom in a little bit more so you can see, because he does have some rather wild light piping, which really sort of serves to, the focus is playing silly buggers, which really serves to sort of pull out his eyes there. I don't know if you can get that shot, you get that clear enough. It keeps wanting to focus on what's behind it, but you can sort of see his eyes in that scenario, and I think that looks really effective. And also he has some other sort of red plastic throughout his chest, so I think with the right lighting throughout, he probably looks quite menacing. He could look very menacing indeed. The neck's a bit odd because it does seem quite elongated, and I don't know whether that's designed to facilitate some sort of taking his head off play that Optimus may do, should you wish to. But it does give him some, you know, he can look down quite substantially. Can't really look up, although he does have a ball joint, not a ball joint per se, sort of actually more of a hinge in his head. The neck's on a ball joint rather, and I'm not a big fan of this gap. I've not transformed him yet, obviously, so I don't know whether it plays a part in that, but he does certainly have an interesting range of articulation in the head area. Now again, this wasn't a figure I was going to initially pick up, but because I was able to get it in a clearance sale, always got to watch online for your clearance sales, I did go, actually, you know what, it does look good, and I've seen other people review it back when it was first coming out, but for those of you who sort of follows the channel, you'll be aware that I don't always go for the stuff that as it comes out, because I'm not always connected to some of the figures that are coming out. Sometimes I am, and I'm like, I have to have that, and it's an immediate purchase. This wasn't that. I enjoyed him in the film, but I certainly didn't have any kind of affinity to pick him up and purchase him. Also for me, Scourge is that sort of futuristic hovercraft as he appeared as one of the heralds of Unicron in the Transformers 86 movie. So to me, any Scourge that comes after that is a bit of a pretender to that throne. However, I am aware that obviously in this film he is again, Scourge is a herald of Unicron, so there's that element of the story is representing itself, albeit a different version of Scourge. And of course we also know, if we do a little bit of our own Transformers research into the history of Transformers, we also know that Scourge, there's an alternative version of Scourge which is a kind of clone of Optimus Prime, an evil clone of Optimus Prime, a kind of, I know it's not, but a kind of Nemesis Prime version of Optimus Prime. And of course this version does transform into a truck, so representative of, again, Optimus's form. So there's a few strands of Transformers lore that coalesce and give us ultimately this figure. So I kind of succumbed to the whole thing of, okay, fine, I'll get this figure. And once you get past sort of elongated neck, the mechanical detailing elsewhere is pretty impressive. I mean, that, so we'll keep that focus on the head and chest, but there's so much going on. You can see the chains there draped across the chest. You might be able to see just through the grille there's some molded plastic insignia from where he's captured the insignia of some of his prey. Again, we have insignia here. Also, we have insignia here. I thought there was more, to be honest, but maybe it'll come out as when we do transform him. The detailing on the arms is amazing. This is articulated. You can open this rather hideous claw up and you can close it down. It also is on a removable port, he says. Well, it is, because I've already removed it once. Boom. So yeah, there we go. It removes, so we can transfer that over and turn that into his blaster arm, which he comes with. I'm not sure if that's the right way up, but he comes with that blaster arm, and these can be stored on the back. Sorry, that's probably better off that way round. Sorry, I'm completely out of focus doing that. So you can see that he can attach there to store his weapon, and indeed when we swap it round, the same thing can be said, and this can be stored on there as well. So I'm going to just pop this back on for now. Let's get it right, folks, because it does have it isn't a universal connection. It does have to go in correctly. There we are. But I like that. I like that feature there. The shoulders are a bit adjustable. He does have all, I mean, he's leader class, and so you know, he has all of the articulation you would expect, including a waist swivel. Again, let's check out some of that detailing there. You can see all the wonderful mechanical detailing there. The legs, I think, are fantastic. They're very live action Transformers legs, if you know what I mean. You can see, you get a real sense of the wheels, and you can almost hear it. If you're a purveyor of the live action films, then you know what the Transformers sound like when they're moving around, and all the gears and the wheels move, and it's sort of, you can almost hear it looking at it. So I think that design's very true to it. Over here we have an articulated hand, which is very nice, and we have an attached weapon that is folded over. If you really open the arm out, this rotates. Sorry, unpeg that, just to clip it like that, straighten it out, and then extend this round, and then you can wrap the hand around it, and you have this wonderful weapon that is quite something to look at. It really is a quite well integrated weapon. So I do like that very, very much. It continues to give him a very imposing kind of silhouette and stance. It's very nicely done and very nicely detailed as well, as you can see. So moving to the reverse of the figure, he does have a backpack, but I'll just show you this. It's not a very large backpack. Again, considering what we know he's going to transform into, it's very well folded up and concealed. You wouldn't necessarily think that this would give us what we're going to end up with. And again, it's nicely detailed. There's more of that translucent sort of orange fire-esque plastic in there. Again, not really any gapping, some quite nice detailing, chains again, and again the reverse of the feet, the reverse of the legs rather. So all in all, as figures go, we can see that this version of Scourge is quite, oh, here we go. Let's try and get some semblance of focus. Is quite something. And so it makes sense for a little comparison to put him up against the Rise of the Beasts Optimus Prime. And I think that's a really good scaling, to be honest. I think that looks fair and reasonable. I would certainly think that was accurate to the film, or as near as. But again, this was also a really, really great figure, and this was an easy pickup for me. The Rise of the Beast Optimus Prime. I know I've done a video on him already, so we're not going to spend time looking at him, but I felt it was a worthwhile inclusion to sort of have him up against Scourge, given that they are in essence each other's nemesis for the purposes of this film overall. But yeah, I think robot mode looks fantastic. Next up, I'm going to transform him off screen into his vehicle mode so we can see how that looks, and I'll also give you some feedback on my view on how well or otherwise the transformation goes. Okay, don't touch that dial. And here we have Scourge all transformed up into his vehicle mode, and I will say aspects of this were really fun, aspects of this were horrific. Overall, I think the vehicle mode looks really good. I don't like these gaps here, but they do sort of give you access, if you can see that in the light, to the plastic on the inside. And this does not want to tab in. I don't know if you can see it, but it's actually a part of the translucent plastic that needs to tab in. So I'm very, very reluctant to try and force it because I don't want it to break. It's really frustrating. But the surface detailing on this, everywhere this side of the smokestacks, generally speaking, really good. Very, very interesting to see how all of this took shape. Some wonderful, I thought quite innovative. I mean, it's panels, but it was well done. They were well concealed. The wheels were well concealed. Some smaller panels here. Overall, it was very well done. We can see here along that grail, the grade there, that he has got some more insignia. These are the the shoulder pauldrons, which really were a nightmare trying to get in. And unfortunately, there's a connecting, there's a tab here. It's sort of a double hinge that's sort of a triple hinge, and the instructions are not clear. Once you're asked to fold it back, it actually affords you more clearance than you think more clearance, which, you know, is always a bonus with a transformer. So you take the more clearance, but it doesn't expressly say not to do that. So unhelpfully, I ended up spending a long time trying to work out why this portion, which folds out from the backpack, would not fit, and I couldn't get this bit physically where it needed to be to give me enough clearance or to give me the right length to make this all clip together. So that was frustrating, but it ended up being I had to disassemble the arms because all of this just had to be not as fully extended as I read it to be, which is entirely my fault, obviously, but it could have been clearer in the instructions. So anyway, that minor gripe to one side. The rest of this is really good. So we can see there the detailing and the sort of barbed wire around the smokestacks, the detailing on the door here, the side mirrors, the bars on the windows, the horn, of which we've only got one, so it's asymmetrical. I love that. The detailing on the bonnet, such as is, I've already mentioned the grille. We've also got the chains around there, sort of the cattle clearing herder part. As mentioned, it's asymmetrical. We've got a tank here with some steps built into it. This side we've literally just got a step, so you step up. These do not like to stay, so be careful with those. There's some nice pipe working. So all in all, the front part of this cab looks really great. The back part is a bit of a hot mess, because this is basically where his arms and weapons, and there's a massive gap in the middle, go. Now this weapon, it kind of looks like it looks on the on the film, which is a bit disturbing, because it opens up and tabs in either side to give you that sort of side profile, but from the top it's all a little bit messy. Again, the legs, some nice detailing on the legs, and the transformation is very basic. The legs don't have to do an awful lot in the transformation, to be honest. Certainly nothing new and overly challenging. And it does roll nicely, so that's effective. I do find the front wheels slightly tighter, although having rolled them a few times now, they're moving more freely, so that's a result. Probably also because I finally got it all to tab in. So generally speaking, I do think that this version of Scourge is really good. Sorry, that's just keeps happening. It does annoy me. I wish they could tab in somehow. Maybe I'm doing something wrong. See, that bit's tabbed out again, but it's as close as you're going to get it. But either way, it doesn't really have any impact on holding them in place. So they are what they are. But yeah, overall, I think this is a really nice vehicle mode. It's threatening, it's imposing, it fits nicely on the display stand. Oh, display stands, how I miss you. And I think it does a great job. I think it does a great job of being a nemesis, pun intended, to Optimus Prime. See, that's tabbing out. Am I missing? Is there somewhere where these are supposed to tab in? I'm just looking. If you know that the answer to that is yes, then can you let me know in the comments? Because it's frustrating. Or are they just loose and it's just annoying and I just have to get over myself and deal with it? I think I know the answer, if I'm honest. But yeah, so all in all, I do think, I mean, as I say, the transformation took longer than I think it will take me in the future, because now I know how this bit works. It won't happen quite like that again. And as I say, a lot of the detail I really like. I really do like it. And again, this is new. It's the first time. So maybe in future transformations, this won't be so problematic here. But as I said, you know, it's the translucent plastic. So I naturally have an inclination to be fearful of trying to snap it into place, because I'm worried it will just crack. I do like the asymmetrical look for the whole thing. I don't like that the back of the cab is completely exposed, but you know, are you going to display it backwards? So when I do some photography for the end of the video, I'll make a point of making sure that it's shot from the front. I'll try and get some different light sources on it. But yeah, I think it's I like the mode. I like it very much. It was a medium level of difficulty, I would say, for me. I didn't shout and swear too much. Just the cab section was the bit that gave me the grief. But again, that may have just been me misreading the instructions. They may have been clearer than I thought, because I am recording this late in the day, and I'm possibly not focusing as much as I could have been when I was transforming it and following the instructions. I'll see how well I find transforming it back again. Have you picked this up? Do you enjoy messing with it? Is it one of your favourites? Do you think it's a good representation of the character as it appeared on screen? Is it your favourite Scourge? If it's not, what is your favourite Scourge? Or are you just resolutely true to the Generation 1 Scourge as he appeared in the movie? And remind me again, who was he before he became Scourge? Because that's not, you know, controversial. Anyway, thank you so much for spending the last, what must be about 20-25 minutes with me. You've been a wonderful companion to have as I've taken a look at this Studio Series entry. I've been the Triple TC, that's the Time Travelling Toy Collector, and it just remains for me to say that a thing of beauty really is a toy forever. Take care, please remember to like and subscribe, and I hope to see you in a future video. Bye-bye for now.